Manifestation. Man up. Manifestation. Man up. Manifestation. Man up. Manifestation.
A place where we inform, build, and inspire.
Manifestation. Man up. Manifestation. Man up. Manifestation. Man up.
A place where we inform.
Manifestation.
A place where we inform, build, and inspire.
You gotta eat what you kill. You gotta go out there, you gotta hunt for your meals.
We all have that ability to connect with people, to be that motivational person in somebody's life.
You gotta let people know there's certain lines you don't cross and that there's gonna be consequences if you do.
Man up.
If you are an adult and you are in a relationship, that person's emotions are not your responsibility.
Man up. Manifestation. Man up. Manifestation. Man up. Manifestation.
A place where we inform, build, and inspire.
The devil, during slavery, destroyed the masculinity or manhood of the so-called Negro. No man. No man. Right now you got to be trained all over again to be a man.
When someone is obligated to do something, it is binding upon them to do it. And failure to do it causes reaction.
Man up.
Focus shall make you rich. I don't have that type of richness. My richness is life forever.
If that people knew that glorious path, if that people knew that glorious path, if that people knew that glorious path, then they would be more inclined to respect themselves.
I'm not saying I'm going to rule the world or I'm going to change the world, but I guarantee that I will spark the brain that will change the world. And that's our job, is to spark somebody else watching us.
A place where we inform, build, and inspire.
Manifestation. Man up. Manifestation. Man up. Manifestation. Man up.
A place where we inform.
Manifestation.
A place where we inform, build, and inspire.
You want to tell me about yourself? Go get your friends. I'll tell you who you are based on who your friends are.
Don't just live and die. That's an ugly existence. Make your life matter, make your life count. Live a life where people can actually mourn you for the things you left behind, not just because you were around and existed.
We need strong black nuclear family.
Yes. Yes.
That's what it is. Mother, father, son, daughter, all in the same house with a focus on the family unit as a whole.
We had Tulsa, Atlanta, New Jersey, Detroit. We had Rosewood. We had Black Wall Streets all over.
The Republicans aren't for us, but the Democrats aren't for us either. And we should have no alliance to any political party. We only have alliance to what is in our own best interest.
A place where we inform, build, and inspire.
Manifestation. Man up. Manifestation. Man up. Manifestation. Man up.
A place where we inform.
Manifestation.
A place where we inform, build, and inspire.
At the end of the day, as men in the community, we must stand together and be counted, because people look to us for guidance, leadership, and protection. And if we are not about that business, we are not on our job. Here we have grown-ass man conversations in the spirit of that purpose. Anthony Malcolm, Bobby Drake, Major Gage, we are. This is Manifestations 2020.
Manifestation. Man up. Manifestation.
A place where we inform, build, and inspire.
Yeah. We here. What's cracking, man?
Yeah.
Yo. What's going on? Welcome to Manifestations 2020. I am your host, Major Gage, and I'm here with my mans and them, Anthony Malcolm and the prestigious Bobby Drake, and we are Manifestations 2020. What's good, fellas? What's cracking, lacking? Talk to me.
What's good?
I did want to say something. Just want to go off record right quick and off on record. I wanted to say, DL Hughley, you a bitch. You are a straight bitch.
Facts.
For you to sit there and say some degrading stuff about this black woman, because she's running on the Republican Party, you know,
Ooh.
find out what her. I can see if you were saying that her policies weren't up to par and everything like that. But you denigrated a black woman. This is somebody's mother. This is somebody's auntie. You know what I'm saying? Somebody's daughter. And you sat there on national TV because you have a bigger platform than a lot of people.
Right.
And you sat there and degenerated like a black woman for a white woman that's running against her in a poll for the same seat. And you're supporting this white woman and throwing this black woman under the bus. And that's a bitch made move, man. And the way you said something about she looked like James Brown. What kind of fucking shit was that? Like,
he said that?
Yeah, dog. And that's why when these comedians go at you, I have no sympathy for you, dog. None at all. And I see why you reaping all of this stuff from your family and your children and everything like that.
Yeah.
You a bitch, man. You a straight bitch ass dude, man, for that. And I had no respect for you. And I damn sure don't have no respect for you now. Because that was the utterly most disgusting shit that I could see a Sambo ass raccoon say on national TV in regards to uplifting a white woman and denigrating a black woman.
Wow.
And that's all I have to say.
I didn't even know he did that. I would have been on his pause. I didn't know he did that. Like, he's just such an insignificant fuck boy. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't have any respect for DL Hughley. I knew he was a bitch when it came out that, you know, some shit had went down where somebody had attacked his daughter and he believed the other person. What kind of bitch ass dude is that? You understand? Somebody do something, you know, I don't want to talk about the stuff, you know, that they say he did to the daughter just because of the fact that, you know, I don't want to cause that young lady to relive her trauma or whatever the case may be, or focus on that. But it was the thing that you don't want nobody to do to your daughter. Apparently that was done to his daughter by one of his friends, and he believed the friend.
Yeah.
What kind of hoe ass nigga is that? Like, dude, DL Hughley need his ass whooped. You know,
for real talk.
Because I hate DL Hughley.
Yeah, I'm like, if it was just about policy and you left it at that, then that would have been fine. I wouldn't have a problem with that. But you didn't say anything about her policies or anything like that. You just said, I'm not voting for somebody. I don't even know who she looked like. I mean, who she is. She looks like James Brown. And that was crazy to me for you to say that out your mouth, yo. Like, if I was in front of you, dog, I would slap the shit out you. Facts. If you had said that in front of me, I would have slapped the shit out you, dog.
Facts. He a whole bitch, you know. And
that warrants it. That warrants
it. If people want to talk about, I'm glad you brought up that point, because a lot of people always talk about how the black woman is not protected and whatever the case may be. And you got to look at a fuckboy like DL Hughley, you know, in that type of regard, because, you know, he's attacking this sister for no good reason. You understand what I'm saying? And at the same time, he's attacking this sister, can't even protect the sisters in his own family. You understand what I'm saying? He went against them the same way that he went against this lady, you know. But when there's somebody cutting a check from the DNC, yo bitch ass get behind them and support everything they say.
Exactly.
I tell people all the time, I'm not in the blue clique, I'm not in the red clique. I'm not in the blue coat, I'm not in the red coat. I support common sense measures that's going to help people. Period. I'm an independent. But see, that's one of the dangers of becoming a flunky for a party. DL Hughley don't do nothing but bend over and spread his ass cheeks for them white folks at the DNC. That's all he does. He's a one-trick pony. Him, Steve Harvey, Ricky Smiley, all them fuck ass niggas. That's all they do. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, that was some whole shit. I can't believe he said that. That's crazy.
I can.
What you got?
I can.
Wow.
Like you beat me to the punch, man. This is the same sucker the same sucker who talk about he had trouble believing that his friend would do that to his daughter, basically sided with dude over his own child.
Yeah.
In that regard.
That nigga. That bitch ass nigga. You still talking, nigga? Like somebody should have been swung on DL.
So that's not a surprise. That's
cameras everywhere.
That's par for the course. That's typical down low Hughley behavior. Some down low tendencies. There's something interesting, and we're not going to take the conversation that whole direction. That's something that we can get into later on down the line once the political season kicks in. But the funny thing is, it's interesting that you brought up the whole idea of Black women not being protected. We have to protect Black women. Watch how you speak about Black women. Because these hypocrisies that we like to have, at some point, are going to come to a head and have to be dealt with. Because it goes back to biblical. You cannot serve two masters.
Right.
And there's a lot of double-mindedness, snake tongue antics that goes on with this whole nonsense. Because the whole diatribe is protect Black women, don't speak ill of Black women, don't denigrate Black women, especially not for white women. We hear that all the time. But apparently the exception is if the Black woman is a Republican or isn't a Democrat.
Right.
So now for some reason we'll get out, and when it's some petty nonsensical 50-50 conversation or diversity conversations on the internet, now it's Black men are embarrassing. Black men don't defend Black women. Stop speaking. Your mouth is black. Okay, but if the Black woman in question is a Republican or not a Democrat, and is running against a white female or white male or non-Black Democrat, well then now it's okay to start being disrespectful. Now it's okay to say she looks like James Brown. Now it's okay to denigrate this Black woman in favor of the non-Black person. Now it's okay to do that, you see.
Wow.
So we must respect Black women, but only if they are Democrats or if they fit within the custom template of what is allowed for protection. Again, the same people that like to say Black people are not a monolith. But you're attacking people for not being.
Yeah.
We have to. The reason why there's so much schizophrenic dysfunction when it comes to these stuff, because your thought process with these things is supposed to be linear.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter where you fall politically or what your views are, whatever. This buck dancing snaggletooth Sambo attacking this sister on the behalf of a white woman in a white party, that should be unanimous. Everybody forming Voltron coming at your neck.
Yeah.
The fact that that's not the case, and this isn't the first time something like this has happened.
Yeah.
The fact that this isn't the case means that there are people that have puppet strings inside of you.
Right.
You no longer act in your own best interest. The political statement, I forgot who it was who said it. I know it's not Voltaire. Wrongly gets attributed to him. But if you want to know who it is who controls you, find out who you're not allowed to criticize.
There you go.
And when you see that these folks are unable to clap back at the Democrats, even when everything else normally would say, hey, this is the line in the sand, that means that somebody has their hand up your ass. You are now a puppet. Somebody's got their fingers playing with your tonsils, paws, and your jaws, making them work on your behalf.
Yep.
Y'all got to look out for that, because, and this is how so many of us get caught up behind the woodshed, taking L's. Y'all be careful with that, though. I see we don't have that issue because, like you said, we don't subscribe to any of those parties. We subscribe to what's in our own best interest. So we have complete freedom to clap back at anyone that crosses against our people. There's no strings on us.
Yes.
Those of you who do have strings and you got remote controls and TV remotes and PS5 controllers attached to you, it must suck to suck. But
it's so heartbreaking, you know what I'm saying? Because we have all these guys that have these huge platforms, you know what I mean? And we could really be using these guys to do things to help the community, like in real life, you know what I'm saying? But instead we get these buck dancing Sambos that are all, you know, committed to this one party. And, you know, there's some things that the Democrats have that are good. There's some things the Republicans have that are good. Neither party, and there's some things that both parties have that are awful. Neither party works in our interest, and neither party has, you know, a foolproof system that really supports things that are going to make our communities better. So it really disturbs me when I see a fuckboy like D.L. Hughley out here doing that, you know, and it's not the first time. D.L. Hughley, Ricky Smiley, Steve Harvey is the Bojangles Brigade. All these dudes do is buck dance for the white power structure. You know what I'm saying? And look, I don't know who this lady is, the one that the white lady's running against. I don't have a problem if you're supporting a black lady, a white lady over a black lady, if the policies make sense. You understand what I'm saying? But just going and attacking that lady, you know, because she's a Republican and putting her down, not even criticizing her policies, but putting her down, you know, and she's a black woman and you're uplifting this white woman. That's what them coons do, that the passport bros. A lot of them, not all of them, but the passport bros. That's what a lot of them do. And that's why I have a problem with them. Not because you're finding better quality women overseas, which is what they say. Sometimes maybe they do. That's not the issue. Is that you're putting down your own women to uplift another race of women. And you're doing it publicly and you're doing it consistently. There's nothing more coon, there's nothing more coon related than that. That is some of the most coonish shit I've ever seen in my life. But coming from D.L. Hughley, I'm not really surprised. I'm really not. You know what I'm saying?
It's another day that ends with Y.
It's another day that ends with Y for D.L. Hughley. He does that type of sucker shit all the time. And like I said, if you can't even protect a woman in your own family, nigga, you ain't got no business criticizing anybody. Yeah, D.L. Hughley's the biggest sucker in the world as far as I'm concerned. So yeah, I'll park the Chevy on that. That's wild. I can't believe he came out and said something like that. That's crazy.
Yeah, and I just want people to understand, like, we got to get off this thing about black people running on the Republican side. If you understand history, when you talk about make America great, let's not think about what Trump is saying, because white people look at how make America great in their eyes in the Jim Crow laws and everything like that. That was a great time for them. But if you want to talk about make America great in the eyes of black people, then think about when we had 3/4 of our Congress of black politicians that was running the country in a way that was very effective and also profitable for black people. This was the reason why we had so many black Wall Streets all over, because we had politicians inside the office that were out there fighting for tariffs. So I hear black people always talk about, oh, Trump is raising tariffs and all of that. The reason why you jackrabbits don't understand the importance of tariffs is because none of y'all understand the importance and the ins and outs of business. You don't understand the history of business, because see, what you don't realize and what they program you to think about is that black people resonated from slaves and you've been down and out ever since. And that's a false fucking narrative, because if you look at it, back in the early 1920s, we were doing a lot of stuff. We were owning a lot of businesses. Sharecroppers was a business. We had our own bookstores, our own furniture stores. We had plumbing stores where you had, plumbing companies, electrical companies. We had everything that you thought about, our own hospitals, everything. We had everything. So the foundation was built and created where we had an infrastructure of nothing but businesses. Like if you wasn't outside the realms of a business, you were looking like you were just wasting your time. So when you had the politicians that were going out there for the tariffs and asking for that, the black people, they were bringing back money that was very foundational to their businesses, because that's how business grow off of the tariffs. So that's why we had back in the early 20s, this is why we saved the automotive industry. This is why whites was jealous, and one of the reasons they burnt down a lot of our own communities because we were generating more money than them. Because our businesses were growing and their businesses were failing. But history don't tell you that.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And y'all are ignorant enough not to go and research this stuff. It's not hard to do. So when you start to see like black people running on the Republican side, don't condemn them for that. Find out what their policies are. Because a lot of black people run on the Democratic side. And guess what? A lot of them are coons, raccoons, sambos, bootlicks, whatever you call them, because when you look at their policies, they're pushing things that don't benefit black people, period.
Yeah, thanks.
I'll land my plane on that.
Nah, it just is what it is, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, people, they get caught up in, black people get caught up thinking that the Democrats are our friends. You understand what I'm saying? And it's like, bruh, neither one of them are our friends, nor should you be concerned about making friends if you're trying to conduct politics. Dumb nigga. You're supposed to be focused on who can do something to help you. There's no such thing as blue help or red help. Nigga, it's just help. You know what I'm saying? And that's what we need to focus on going into the political season. Who is doing something that is going to help you? And more often than not, it's neither side, which is why I don't understand why niggas automatically have a knee-jerk reaction to anytime a black person goes and talks to the Republican. Shit, Steve Harvey, who's one of the biggest Democratic ass kissers, the first time Trump got elected, he took his bitch ass down into the White House. People forget that. You understand what I'm saying? The second election, the DNC check cleared, and he got all up Kamala's ass. But the first go-round, he was the first one to go down to the White House and try to talk to Trump, which I don't criticize him for, because we should be trying to talk to both parties. And how you dumb niggas don't understand that is beyond my understanding. We're gonna move on to the next topic. That's crazy.
And I'll just end it with this. Like, just to solidify your point. Remember, Lyndon B. Johnson, Martin Luther King went to Lyndon B. Johnson. You're talking about the creator of COINTEL, the person that created the operation to kill assassinate all the black leaders, the one that sat back and put the battery in the back of a black man to spy on our good brother and shot him up 230-something times while he was asleep in the Panther Party.
J. Edgar Hoover.
J. Edgar Hoover.
J. Edgar Hoover,
right?
Yeah.
So when you look at, what do you call it? Dr. King went to go with Lyndon B. Johnson. J. Edgar Hoover, on the other side. But what I'm saying is, as far as, don't be afraid to approach somebody that's in power to get what you need to put your people in power. When my state rep, when I was with the state rep down here in Florida, and we was working together, I told her when she first got elected, when you go to the state capitol, work with whoever is going to give you the resources and financial money that is going to empower your community. She went up there and she took my advice. She said that was the best advice that anybody ever told her, because she was running on the Democratic Party. And guess what? When she went up there and took my advice, she got more resources and funding from the Republican Party than her own party that was really trying to sideswipe her and put her out of the picture so they could put puppets in front of her place and promote policies that don't affect that don't promote black people in any positive ways. So I just wanted to show people and tell people that story so you understand when you go out here, it don't matter who it is. Don't be scared. Don't let them pump up Trump as a boogeyman, because guess what? When Trump is not here, this is his last year. Next year, they might pump up DeSantis. They might pump up JD Vance. These are all other people that y'all say have racial views or dislike black people, right? So if they get in office, you're gonna stop not going up to them and asking for what you need for your people? No, it don't matter who they promote to be this villain. Go up there, stand firm in your shit and go get what you need to get for your peoples, man.
Yeah. Look, people fail to understand. People fail to realize that even Malcolm and Martin, you know, they sat down with, you know, federal officials. They sat down with the CIA, FBI, whatever. They had these conversations. I remember hearing the tape where the FBI was going out of their way to try to turn Malcolm X, and he would not. You know, he kept bringing the conversation back to doing something for his people, but they sat and they had a conversation. There's nothing wrong with trying to have a conversation, trying to do something, you know, that benefits everybody. The problem is when you sacrifice your morals, your principles, and you go against them, and you take whatever they're selling, you know, and you don't do anything for your people. That's the issue. You know what I'm saying? So we'll move on, but that was very telling. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not surprised at all. But since we're talking about coons, I mean, shit. I mean, why not? You know what I'm saying? Like, in the context,
look at the coons.
Man, look, in the context of black businesses and dealing with black business, you'd be surprised how many coon ass niggas you have out here. Here's one.
Us. Oh, I'm black. Oh, black people. Nobody gives a fuck about that. Kill that shit. Either you got a good business or you don't. All that shit, don't nobody want to hear that shit. That's a hustle. Support me because I got a black business. Is your restaurant clean? Is the food good? Do you got consistent cooks? Is the material of your shit good? Stop doing that. Oh, you support the white people? No, I support consistency, baby. Yeah. Well, fuck about what color you is. I'm gonna spend my money. That paper, I'm gonna spend them millions where the fuck I want to spend it at. Whether it's Porsche, Ferrari, Lamborghini, I'm gonna do what the fuck I want to do while I'm here. But I'm gonna tell you one thing, I ain't gonna be finessed off some black shit. But one thing about it, 70% of you motherfuckers is not going to make it. I'm not no motherfucking fake ass motivational speaker that talk this dumb shit. I'm the #1 nigga in the country. You know why? Y'all seen me come out of the penitentiary. I make millions and I make millionaires, baby. You understand me? I come from the ghetto.
I can't stand that coon. I got one more that I want to share with you. And, you know, Anthony talks a lot about the bullshit burrito. And that's exactly what the fuck he does when he talks. He'll give you some real shit and he'll slide that bullshit on in there. But we're going to get back to that in a minute. I got one more coon I want to share with you before we get into it. But I mean, boy, they just come out the woodwork when you start talking about keeping your money black.
We still don't think saying black owned is racist. Because I'm not gonna lie, when you highlight black owned, I'm definitely not gonna support. I'm definitely not gonna patronize. Just like I wouldn't patronize if somebody said white owned. But honestly, sometimes just the funny in me wanna see somebody say white owned so you can experience it. And you can say all day, well, that's the way it used to be. You didn't live through that time. It ain't been your time. And the very thing that people fought for, marched for, and died for, to get rid of segregation, you choose to do it voluntarily. Like we don't see anything wrong with that. Anyway, I support American-owned businesses. We are more like, as Americans, Southerners, Northerners, Easterners, Westerners, Midwesterners, we're more like there than race anyway. I support American-owned businesses, but
that last one, she's just so stupid. My brain hurts even listening to this woman talk. Jesus Christ. Oh, there's so much in those two clips, bro. There's so much in those two clips.
I dance for massa. I dance, you dance, we dance for massa.
Thanks. Look, man, Wallow.
I need a fiddle. I need a fiddle, boy.
Facts. All she needs is her tattoos, boy. Because god damn. Woo. Wallow is particularly annoying to me because Wallow, he's screaming at the top of his lungs. You talk about that black shit, nobody give a fuck about that. You trying to sound extra hard and extra street and all this old bullshit. And it's like, nigga, yes, we do care and we should care about where we spend our money. And niggas need to start understanding that. You understand? He does make, again, the bullshit burrito. He does make good points. We're not only going to support your business because it's black. No. You have to still be, you have to still handle business. You have to still be professional. Yes, he is right about that. But the idea that it shouldn't matter to us at all that you have a black-owned business is kind of why we're in the predicament that we're in now. Our money does not bounce around in our community. As soon as we get some money, we go give it back to Massa. And niggas like Wallow are the reason that we do that. You know, and I mean, just the aggressiveness. Like, why are you yelling and cussing and screaming at the top of your lungs? We don't give a fuck about that black shit. That's a hustle. Not always. It's not always a hustle. Sometimes you have people who really are trying to nation build, you know, and it is important for black people to spend at black businesses. Dumb nigga. Why you think these other groups are so successful and their communities are self-maintained? Because Jewish people spend at Jewish businesses. Hispanic people spend at Hispanic businesses. But this dumb nigga is going to tell you it's not important for you to spend your money at black businesses. That's a coon. And this other bird, the second one, Jesus B. Williams, my God. I'm losing brain cells listening to this woman speak. Supporting black businesses is racist? Do you even know what racism is? To say something so breathtakingly stupid, have you ever been in a classroom? There's nothing racist about supporting black-owned businesses. She supports American-owned businesses. Okay, that's fine. I'm not knocking that either. But it seems that we just don't get it. It doesn't click in our heads the importance of supporting black-owned businesses. She sat up here and really legitimately said that supporting black-owned businesses or touting that idea is racist. And if she hears that you have a black-owned business, she's going to go out of her way not to support your business because it's black, because you call it a black-owned business. Why the hatred for that particular term? I don't understand it coming from our people. You know, it's mind-numbingly idiotic from where I sit. What y'all saying?
Wallow would never talk like that in a room full of white folks. And there's a lot of people that do that. They act one way with us, and then they get in the room and take off their hat and bow down and ask questions. Yeah, massa. But you know, when you go back to like, when you think about it, like it kind of reminds me of a lot of politicians that do that too, like Kamala. What's the other girl? Jasmine Crockett.
Oh God. Oh God.
So you have Kamala, and I'm so glad that they split the videos and showed you, like when she's around white folks, she was like, yeah, you got to thank your union members and all of this and that. And then when she get around black folks, oh, you got to thank your union member. You got to thank your... Jasmine Crockett said the same thing. She did the same thing. She get around white folks, totally different. They don't got her, and now she's sister girling it up, you know. And it's a slap in the face to black folks because you're playing with black folks' intelligence. There is no code switching like that when it comes to any other race of people. They are who they are. Either they're gonna talk one way or they talk a different way. But they're not going to talk one way in front of their race of people and talk another way in front of another race of people. They're going to give you the same universal dialect across. We're the only ones that do that, and I find it very disrespectful when people do that. Wallow, I really don't. It's like, he's kind of like Charleston White. Some things you support, some things you just got to throw away. He does have some good stuff when he sat back and poured his heart out, trying to change the way of that dude, not Vaughn, but the other dude.
Lil Durk.
Lil Durk, yeah. When he tried to pour his heart out to Lil Durk, and Lil Durk still went behind and did what he did. That's why he locked up. But you know, being real with them, trying to share the message with them, you know, I respect him for that. There are, you know, small moments that he do shine in the right direction, but then he go right back into the other direction, and you just like, God dang, dude, like you just got to write him off on that stuff. Like, one thing that is the most dangerous thing for people, especially that look like us, is the ones that tote the line. I don't like fence riders.
Me neither.
You either stand square on what you say and let people respect it, or I don't respect somebody who will sit here and dap you up, and then your enemy come around, and then they're with your enemy dapping them up. So, you know, don't do that. Don't be that type of person who's two-faced, because those are two-faced people. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I really don't fuck with Wallo like that. I mean, he do what he do, but I kind of tuned him out a long time ago. The other lady, I find it very funny that she talks about black businesses, but this lady is rocking a white designer glasses, because those prints are normally like Gucci, Prada. Yeah, you know, they got another one called Mio. Yeah, Mio, which is about $500 glasses. So you'll sit here and spend all your money on designer glasses and designer brands to promote whatever insecurities you have, because that's basically what it is when people buy wealthy stuff to promote that they got money, when all of us, is, to be honest with you, is about 3 paychecks away from being broke. No matter how much you try to project like you got money like that, everybody ain't sitting on extra cash like that. The economy is at a way where it's real tight right now, and you can just be up today and be down tomorrow. So that's why it's very you got to be very strategic about how you you know, manage your finances and things like that. But for you to sit back and say that black businesses and you don't support them, but you are quick to support a designer brand, it just I just tune you out right then and there, because I understand what type of negress you are, and you're a self-hating negro. That's what it boils down to. So people like that, you just got to stay away from. You don't even listen to advice like that. If you are a person supporting black business, continue to support black business. Don't let this person change your mindset. And like you said with racism, she don't know what she's talking about with racism. Black people cannot be racist. Please stop saying black people could be racist. You could be bigot and you could be prejudiced, but you cannot be racist, because you don't have a system behind you that gives you a power to cast racism, which means that you condemn power over everybody else, and it lifts you up in the process. So please don't say that. That's one of the, I hate those talking points, and I land my plane on that.
Sounds ridiculous, bro. Go ahead, Bobby Drake. What you got, man?
First question I'll rip, especially for her, is let me see your paperwork. Where your people from? Because that's not this, because all that sounds like you just got off the boat 5 minutes ago. Well, your people sure did. Yeah. Now that's not to say that you don't have some homegrown FBA butt dancers here, but you're more likely to get that from people that have no actual knowledge of the history and the background of this country, and especially if they haven't done any of the work to understand or get familiar with the landscape. All these little professional white ass kissing talking points, that's not going to get you nowhere. What that is that's performance. That's white mommy, white zaddy, look at me. See, that's a good nigga. I sound like them over there. These are troublemakers. And I'm very happy that, if nothing else, one of the biggest things, if nothing else has come from this whole delineation movement of the FBAs, it's really being able to get a proper accounting of who is who and what is what. Because the reality is, the number one tool of white supremacy is and always has been confusion. Now, they love their violence as well, too. They love the deception. But ultimately, those work best when there is confusion, when there's mud in the water. Right. When the fog of war is on, you can't probably see what's going on. That's when they get to do their best work. And so when we have order and structure in place, the beauty of order and structure in our lives is that it cuts down on the chaos, it cuts down on the confusion, it cuts down on the indecisiveness. When everything has when there's a place for everything, like my grandma used to say, a place for everything in place. When there's order, when there's a schedule, you know where you're supposed to be, when you're supposed to be there, who's supposed to be there. When you know how things are structured, then you can properly take account of how things are supposed to be and how they're not supposed to be. The reason why so many of us, unfortunately, have bought into the idea of not being organized, not having structure, is because we've been steered into that by white supremacy, because they know they can keep us destabilized. They can come and do whatever they want to us in moments' notice. So when we have these tethers that come through and they get mixed and kneaded and stirred into the mix, and they're all this whole flat blackness thing where we're all black until there's some noteworthy, commendable thing that happens, and all of a sudden, no, we're not all black. I'm actually a black person from this place. And then once that's over, okay, I'm regular black again. When we can properly see who's from where, how long they've been here, X, Y, Z, then statements like this make sense, because you see her and you just think, if you, to the uninitiated, oh, she's a black woman talking like that. That's, well, see, black people aren't a monolith. Yeah, all black people don't support that. But if she had a name tag that said, hi, my name is Bahamian. Hi, my name is Ghanaian. Hi, I'm over from, I'm a black person from India. Hi, I'm a black person from the Netherlands. When you can see that, then you can say, oh, they're speaking that way because they're not from here. They have no idea what they're talking about, or they're over here cutting a deal with the devil, trying to ingratiate themselves in. It goes harder. So when you see that, you understand that's the work of the enemy right there. As far as Wallow's concerned, I do know that he be saying some good things. I don't follow him enough like that to really know what his leaning is. Mm-hmm. But in most cases, when you see a nigga cooning that hard, that's not a fluke. That's they at least have a 50-50 lean to that.
Yeah.
And going to what you said before, Ant, about how he says some good things when he speaks to, Lil Durk, whatever. You also have to understand or take into account how some Negroes' minds works. You have some black people, unfortunately, that really don't like being black.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
And so they will take anything, and I mean anything. You can let your mind run as wild as you want to with that, and you will be right. They will take any minute distinction and graft themselves onto that and let that become their identity. So now in Wallow's case, maybe his mind, oh, I'm not black. I don't support black business. No, I'm not black. I'm a street nigga. I'm a G. So in his mind, he's not a black person. You say, why can a black man speak that way? In his mind, he's not black. In his mind, maybe he's, I'm a real nigga. Or, hey, I'm a whatever set I claim, or hey, whatever. Or he could just plain old-fashioned be institutionalized. They broke him in prison. He came out. Now he's a good little boy. He toes the line. He'll be super thug all day long. And when Mr. Jim walk by, hey, he's a Mr. Jim. It's a nice day in the yard. It's a nice day in the yard, ain't it?
Can I get your hat, sir?
Go back to my cell, Mr. Jim. Please, Mr. Jim. I got 45 minutes of outside time. Right? Okay, I'm going.
The thing that you
so you got to watch out for that.
The thing that you said that tripped me out. He said in his mind, which implies that he has a mind. I was like, bruh, like this dude is just dumb as a box of rocks.
He got a big old Super Bowl head, so I would hope he has something rattling around it. That'll be a shame if all he got is. It would be a shame for a big old Super Bowl head like that. All he got is a little ramen noodle seasoning package jingling around in it. That would be a shame.
This dude is such a clown. Anthony shot him some bail. I ain't shooting him shit. Like, because every time I see him, like, again, everybody, you have to do some good in order to get people to support you. You know what I'm saying? If Charleston White was just talking
the bullshit burrito.
Yeah, exactly. If Charleston White was just talking 100% bullshit, nobody will listen to him. You know what I'm saying? He touts his record some time ago of activism and this and that and whatever. Okay, now listen to this bullshit. And then it negates everything else he's ever done. You understand what I'm saying? But that's how they get you. That's how they keep you in it. Fuck that. This dude, that shit got on my last nerve, though, because there's no reason for him to be overly aggressive like that. If you want to make your point, hey, black businesses, yes. What I would have said, what I think any intelligent black person would have said, all right, man, black businesses, we love you. We want to see more black businesses. I totally supporting black businesses, but black businesses, you got to step up. We're supporting you. We're going to go and support you, but you got to step your game up to make sure that you stay worthy of that support. Nobody else about their community says that dumb shit that nigga said about his community and not supporting black-owned businesses. It don't mean shit. Nigga, shut the fuck up. I hate, my pet peeve is a smart, dumb nigga. Like Cat Williams said, I cannot stand a smart, dumb nigga. You up here finger wagging and pretending to be the subject matter expert on shit when you don't know your ass from a hole in the ground or shit from China. Nigga, shut the fuck up. Correct. I'm just saying. So I don't know. Y'all done on that one? Y'all good?
Oh. Yeah, I just wanted to say that I think, if I'm not mistaken, they both have they both are from out of the U.S. Like their background.
Oh, really?
Gilly is Ethiopian, and Wallo I think is Jamaican or something, or from the Caribbean, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. What I just said. Hold on, this Sonny. Let me see your paperwork right there.
Facts.
What that?
Tether bullshit. Yeah, and that's not the first time I heard him say some dumb shit like that either. You know, my thing is this. I know you said, Anthony, he's done some things that are respect worthy. I can appreciate that. My thing is, when you don't know or don't understand, nigga, shut the fuck up. You trying to act. That's the same problem I have with a lot of these other people. That's the problem I have with Charleston White. That's the problem I have with Monique. That's the problem I have with what's the other one, with Kanye. If you don't know, just shut the fuck up, because you're not helping anybody by giving your uninformed, unsolicited bullshit opinion on matters that are way beyond your thought processing capabilities. Go ahead. Bob.
You don't have to speak, and that's why the other day I bumped into it, and as soon as I saw it, I had to share it.
Yeah.
I shared in the Manifestation 2020 group. If you're not in there, I don't know what you're doing. Hit us up.
Yeah.
On Facebook. But I came across a post that listed an alleged list of books that were in our wonderful brother. Shout out to him. It's been a while since he's been here with us. Nipsey Hussle.
Yeah.
Of the books that he actually read.
Mm.
And people talk about the way how he carried himself. It doesn't matter from what area or what walk of life they were from, whether they were a white corporate person or someone on the streets. Everyone was always, enamored with him and always listened to what. Anytime he opened his mouth to speak, they stopped to listen because he always had such real stuff to say.
Yeah.
But the question is why? When you look at the books that he read, all the books he read were on point. He had books in the library about Black empowerment, Africa and the diasporal history, business and economics, branding and marketing, innovation and creativity. These are just a few of the books that he was known to have read.
Yeah.
He read Message to the Black Man. He read How to Eat to Live, The Wretched of the Earth by Frantz Fanon.
Mm-hmm.
He was a big time reader of our brother James Baldwin.
Mm-hmm.
He read a good bit of Ta-Nehisi Coates. He read Between the World and Me. He read I Didn't Do It For You by Michelle Wrong. By Michelle Wrong. Read books on business economics, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, The Richest Man in Babylon, Conscious Capitalism, The Peebles Principles. Shout out to R. Donahue Peebles. He read books like The 22 Immutable Laws of Marketing and The 22 Immutable Laws of Branding.
Okay.
He read books like Power versus Force, The Art of War, Tools of Titans. He read Shoe Dog by Phil Knight. Mm-hmm. He read books by Steve Jobs, The One Device, talking about the secret history of the iPhone. So This was a brother that knew a whole lot about a whole lot.
Mm-hmm.
And he made sure to also feed his spirit. He read books that were related to his personal growth and spirituality. So this was a brother who made it a point to actually fuel his mind with intelligent things and perspectives. So when he was there, when he opened his mouth to speak, he always had something to say.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't just open his mouth just to babble like most people do. Well, see, I've got a microphone, so I can talk. That means you can listen to me. So ABC and 1, 2, 3 and yo. That's what most people do when they finally get attention.
Yeah.
They don't speak because they have something to say. Mm-hmm. They speak because they have to say something.
Right.
So if you don't know, if you're not from the culture, if you're not from the soil and you don't get it, or if you are from the soil and you don't understand, that's not a crime. That's perfectly all right.
Right.
But before you're going to open your mouth and twerk your gums and make your teeth clap, read something, listen to people who are knowledgeable, the master scholars, and get informed. So when you open your mouth, you don't embarrass yourself in your whole lineage.
Right.
Because everybody, every single one of Wallow's descendants and ancestors and that broad's descendants and ancestors look goofy as hell right now. Like, damn, y'all relate to this?
Yeah. It's ridiculous. And the thing is, too, you know, it's you once you say something on the internet, bro, you can't take it back. I try to be very careful. You know what I'm saying? If it's something
we haven't learned this yet.
Fact. And you know, like if somebody, I think it was Charlemagne, and I'm not really crazy about Charlemagne, but I will give Charlemagne credit for a few things. And what Charlemagne said, I would put this information out there to a lot of you niggas out there that think, you know, because you got a platform, you nice or whatever. You know what I'm saying? I think it was either Ben Shapiro or one of those low-key racist white guys, Charlie Kirk, one of them. One of those low-key racist white guys that run around talking about, you know, I'm not racist, you know, I just want to help your people. You know, one of them wanted to come on the Breakfast Club. And dude was like, maybe Nick Fuentes, one of them. And dude was like, I wouldn't mind having them on, but I would want to have someone smarter than me sitting next to me. Like, if he can come on if I can have Farrakhan here with me. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what I want to hear from somebody like Wallow. On a number of topics. He's not particularly intelligent. He can talk about sports all he wants. You know what I'm saying? But like when you start trying to talk about real community impacting issues, nigga, have somebody beside you that's smarter than you. Have Tariq Nasheed, hell, even, well, I don't know about Umar. Have somebody beside you that's smarter than you. You know what I'm saying? Because you're not servicing anyone, you know, and you really look stupid and you kind of buck dancing for massa, bro. You know, that was sad to watch because I'd never seen their podcast before. I'd heard about it. And when I saw that shit, I'm like, I don't want to see this bullshit. This type of shit y'all niggas talk on there, like, really? Anyway, on to the next, you know what I'm saying? Because we'll be all day talking about those guys. I want to talk about this because this seems to be a serious problem. You know, I want to talk about doing good business today. And in fact, I think we'll probably bring this show back. Let's talk about this a bit because, you know, that's part of it. You know, the Black people not wanting to support Black-owned businesses. You know what I'm saying? And the whole issue around Black-owned businesses, because there's another part that goes to that, of the component that says, yeah, some of these Black-owned businesses, they're doing business kind of janky, you know, and so there is a legitimate concern with some of these Black-owned businesses where you go in there and it's not on the up and up. And unfortunately, our guest couldn't join us tonight, John Gay. For those of you who might be wondering, he couldn't join us tonight. Something came up. Maybe we'll have him back at another time. But I wanted to have him on here because he has a really, really positive, well-running, clean, efficient business that he runs. It's in a nice place. It's a fly building. He got fly employees. You know, they get shit done on time. They handle their business. You know what I'm saying? And it's very rare, unfortunately, for us to see a lot of that in our community, for keeping it a buck. A lot of these businesses, they run kind of janky. But on the flip side of that, and one day I'm going to get him on, we're going to talk to him. But there's an element with the customers as well, whereas they don't really respect Black businesses as they should, or businesses in general as they should. They kind of act out sometimes when they're in somebody's business. And this video came out, and I want y'all to give me it's not long, but I want y'all to comment on it. Tell me what you think.
She got my stuff. They showing out in public, someone sit still.
And there you have it. Like, I have seen more videos of Black people fighting at someone's establishment than I care to discuss. But we have to discuss it because we have to correct the issue. You know what I'm saying? There are other videos. I didn't want to show too much of that video because they start throwing punches, and I don't want no smoke with YouTube. You know, the part of the video that I got, they were just kind of holding on to each other and rolling and stuff or whatever and dragging each other. So, you know, there were no punches in there, but it turned into an all-out brawl. And, you know, at the end of that video, you hear this other person, man, they showing out in public. I'm just so excited that these two women were fighting, you know, and it became a brawl where there were a whole lot of other people that got into the fight. At the end, there was even a guy, a male, a man, I say that in air quotes, that came over there. He hits one of the girls with one of the shelf casings or something after the fight was over. And I'm sitting here looking at this, and all I can think about is, man, the white racists can't wait to get a hold of this clip so they can put it on a loop and put it on their sites and continually make excuses to harm us, because that is how they justify harming us, you know, showing that we behave like animals, you know. And unfortunately, there are a very small minority of Black people who do. My issue is the fact that I've seen so much of it. There was a fight there. There was another fight at Walmart. There was another fight at Target. When I looked up Black people fighting in a retail store, I must have gotten over 5,000 examples, over 5,000 samples of those videos that, you know, were related to that. And that's only on one site. The point of the matter is, it is something that is happening, you know, a lot. They jumping over the counter at Burger King because you forgot my ketchup. The reasoning is real dumb. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is happening. And I just want to know what y'all's thoughts on that are. How do we prevent this? How do we curb this type of ridiculous behavior? Because I'm seeing way too much of it.
I don't think you can curb it without the fact of having power establishments that you run in your own, and you got to have kind of power in your community, because one thing about the small cap people, you won't have to act right. They have a lot of establishments they run, and if you don't act right, you'll be punished within their system. You know, I think everybody, for the most part, pretty much has their code of people that they punish. Even in the Hispanics, I mean, we could look at the Hispanics and we think that the Hispanics are equal to us, and they're really not equal to us. They are gaining more traction because they're opening up more business, and they also are pushing their people more into trades. So they're establishing their wealth, and they're also keeping their ecosystem very tightly locked. But when you look at the Hispanics, there's Cubans that don't like Cubans. Right. And the ones that have power can exile those Cubans out of their area like that. You know what I'm saying? Right. So in order for us to get that, that's why we have to start building our own infrastructures, our own foundation large enough for us to sit back and pretty much ostracize these ridiculous thought process people up out of our community. Let them run back into other people's communities since they don't want to be around Black people. You know, the attitudes of the people that say they don't like to be around Black people, you know what I'm saying? If you look at those people, you're like, yeah, I see why you don't like Black people, because you're ignorant. You don't know how to, it takes patience. It takes emotional intelligence. It takes understanding history and the ancestors of what they did. It's a combination of everything in order for you to embrace Black people. And if you're ignorant, you're not going to embrace that. You're not going to look at your own people in a way of seeing them as greatness, because all you can think about is how the dominant society has programmed you to look at your own people. And so a lot of times we make situations go left right into these violent episodes instead of just taking the time out to say, yo, I know you've probably been through a lot of stress, man. You good? Everything all right? You know, just take your time, you know, defusing, de-escalating, diffusing the situation. You know, it's a lot that can be very positive when you have that type of mentality and attitude. These people don't have that type of mentality, attitude. There's a lot of ego-driven, a lot of hurt, trauma, and projection that comes from people that engage into stuff like that, especially in people's establishment. And I'll land my plane on that.
Yeah. Bobby Drake.
One thing that's important to keep in mind is you have to always consider the source. And I say that all the time with a lot of situations, consider the source. Who is this coming from?
Right.
Because just like we mentioned, like I was talking about before, once you understand what the source is, once you understand what the motive is, then what you're seeing makes sense. When I see that, of course, you know, that's nonstop cringe city, of course.
Yeah.
But at the same time, what I'm also aware of is that what you're seeing is not the majority. There's a good bit of that, but it's not the majority. What happens is you have a very effective marketing campaign set up to put that out on the conveyor belt. Just look at us right here. Us, just three of us, since the inception, from the initiation, actually, the foundation of this program, of this channel, we have made it our business, our issue, to every week go ahead and showcase a sister from the past and the present who's doing amazing, remarkable things, really going ahead and setting this tone as a flag bearer, not just as women, but most important of all, as Black women. Most of these sisters have never been heard of before. And not just the current ones, I'm talking about some of the past ones that we brought up. Some of the things that have been done, when they were done, when they took place, completely foreign. No one talks about that. We have current contemporary sisters right now that we showcase, some young ones, some older ones, some in the middle. No one's talking about them, and they've done amazing things, but no one's talking about it. But everywhere you turn and look, you'll see this nonsense. The truth is, we as a people do not get engaged in this nonsense any more or less, I would say, than anybody else. What is that favorite term of the white supremacists? Per capita? Well, per capita, it's relatively all the same. The only difference is ours gets showcased, and unfortunately, many of us have also been conditioned to go ahead and assist in the showcasing of it. But we've seen videos of whole entire Caucasian brawls at sporting events in different places. There are some places that are known that have a reputation. I don't know if it's still the case now, but back in the day when I was a Raiders fan, back in the day when the Raiders played out there in Oakland, the Black Hole was what they nicknamed the stadium. That arena had a reputation of being dangerous. You miss and say something that people don't like, you can get your ass stomped out. And the majority of the people doing it didn't look like this. They looked like this. It's a known fact that when these white college teams win their college baseball tournaments, their college football tournaments, or whatever,
they riot.
They riot when they lose. They riot when they win.
They do.
Law enforcement has taken upon themselves to actually literally grease poles. It's not a joke. They really do it. They grease the telephone poles and the power poles and the traffic light poles to prevent these drunk white college kids from climbing the poles and doing all kind of nonsense. This is known, but again, it doesn't get put out there on World Star Hip Hop or these other places. It doesn't get put out there to go viral. It doesn't happen.
Right.
So everyone else is doing it. They just make sure that the cameras are on, the lights are good, the microphones are pointed in our direction when it goes down. So it's important to not buy into the hype. At the same time, that is not to let us off the hook, because absolutely this is not acceptable behavior, needs to be tamped down on. We're also the only people that you'll hear see that like to talk about the mess, but they don't like to talk about the cleanup. We're the only group of people that you will see publicly and privately, but publicly you will see us going out and taking steps to crack down on our nonsense. The closest you have gotten to that from and technically they're not a racial specific group, but the closest you've come to seeing non-black people take accountability for their mess is MAD, Mothers Against Drunk Driving. And the people that do that the most, again, aren't us. So you can classify that as a non-black group for the most part. But you will see black people in the streets having anti-gang rallies. You will see us marching to stop drug usage, selling of drugs, gang violence. You do not see white people and non-black people out in the streets saying our group needs to stop committing crime. You don't see it. We're the only ones that take self-accountability.
That's true. I can agree with that.
So we have to keep in mind that the propaganda is very powerful, that there is an active agenda that's been going on. And so we have to make sure that we're doing our best that we can to brainwash ourselves, and I mean to cleanse our minds of the nonsense that we're seeing and that our algorithms are popping up. Make sure that you're putting beautiful stuff in your timelines, folks.
Oh, fact.
That's essential.
Yes.
Also, I was going to say also to add on that, when it comes to power, and I remember I exposed this about 15 years ago. White folks, they separate themselves from PYT, poor white trash.
You're taking the point I was going to say, and you're making it. Go for it. Yes. Yes.
So when they separate themselves from poor white trash, they also inflate our numbers with poor white trash. So if they do crimes, they don't associate poor white trash with white community. They'll put it as other and slip it under the statistics of black folks. And I remember I pointed this out 15 years ago. I was doing research on it and found out that they were doing that. So a lot of our numbers are slightly inflated because it's like they got trash in their community. They lift up the rug in our community and sweep it under our rug.
Yep. Facts. I mean, and this is the thing, man. You know, I get it. You know, of course, white folks do this type of stuff too. I understand that. I'm not giving them a pass. They're not angels. But we're trying to fix our community. You know what I'm saying? And we need to really get on these folks, man. And I do think that there is a solution besides just owning more businesses, because you can own more businesses, and if these niggas gonna act out, they're just gonna destroy your damn business. You know what I'm saying? Like, but we need to distance ourselves. You used a very important word when you were talking.
Absolutely.
Ostracize. We need to distance ourselves from these little dusty, musty ass niggas. We need to get the hell away from them. It doesn't mean it's because you're from the hood. I'm from the hood. I know a whole bunch of people from the hood. One of my best homeboys, he's from the hood. He runs a city now, an entire city. You know what I'm saying? Another one's a lead accountant, a head accountant. You know what I'm saying? People from the hood, I know judges from the same hood I'm from. Doesn't matter that you're from the hood, but your mentality, when your mentality is based on nigga shit, one of the things that annoyed me the most about what Wallow said at the end of what he said, niggas know me, you know, because our kids came fresh out of jail. Nigga, that don't make you better than nobody. You understand what I'm saying? I salute the struggle of someone who came out of jail and they're doing well for themselves. I came fresh out of jail and I make millionaires and I'm da. That don't necessarily mean nothing. You understand what I'm saying? Because in your mind, you still a nigga. Clearly, I can tell from the way you speak. You know, if you're reaching hundreds of thousands, millions of people, you should be better equipped to communicate. Is all I'm saying. And also, there are white people who do that too, but the white media is going to downplay when they do it. You understand what I'm saying? After the hurricane, the white folks go and, you know, they're gathering food. They're scavenging. They're gathering food for survival. The black folks is looting. They're doing the same exact thing. The same exact thing. And so you know the way the system is set up. So you gonna walk your dumb nigga ass right into the trap with your eyes wide shut? Really? You know, that's the type of shit. That's what I'm talking about. We gotta get off of that. That's some coon shit, some Sambo ass shit, bro. I hate to see that. And it's been an uptick of it recently. Like I say, every day I come on here and it's not even one person fighting another person. It's 10 people fighting at Walmart, 15 people fighting at Publix. 3-4 people jumped over the counter at Popeyes because their order was taking too long. What the hell is wrong with people? I think back to that movie, They Cloned Tyrone, where they was putting shit in the food. And like people was acting a damn fool. I don't put that past them. You know, but it's something really wrong with people right now. I don't think enough people really appreciate that, you know, on the level that's up, you know what I'm saying? Whereas, okay, something is really, really wrong with people.
I'd say it's also related to stress. Oh, sorry.
Go ahead.
I'd say it's also related to stress as well, too. When you have people who, and this is why it's so important to really get gamed up and listen to the words of and read the writings of some of our master teachers and our scholars out there.
Yeah.
Because a lot of this stuff, now they don't necessarily put everything together for you right then and there, but you have to understand that a lot of these master teachers, they're no longer here with us. But if you read a lot of their writings, if you listen to a lot of their lectures today, these words that were written or said 20, 30, 40, 50 years ago, even in some cases,
right now,
it sounds like, I'll be damned if this Negro doesn't have some kind of little magic mirror they're looking into and taking notes from.
Yeah.
Not even today, 5 years from today. It sounds like it's a play-by-play. I've read some books that were written by people in the 50s.
Yeah.
And I'm just scratching my head like, okay, I know that you said the book was written here, but was it really? Because it's crazy. Cut and paste. We have to understand that there's a lot of things. One of the things that Neely Fuller has taught us is that there are multiple. There's 9 areas. I think he spanned to 10. 9 or 10 areas of people activity.
Right.
All the different categorizations that of life can be fit into those 9 or 10 categories. And white supremacy has an attack strategy for each and every single one of them.
Sure does.
We don't understand how that affects us. One of the reasons why we're busier than we've ever been now, if you look today, we are busier than we have ever been today.
I know.
Right now.
Yes.
And that's not an accident. We're working harder than we ever. Now, we might not be out in the field doing manual labor like Pop and Mima did back in the day, but in terms of work time, we're working more hours and harder than we ever have before.
Yeah.
For less money than we have before.
Mm-hmm.
Cost of living keeps going up. Salaries and wages are not going up along with it. We have children that need childcare. That's a struggle. We have to keep a roof over our head. We need to be able to afford gas to drive or make payments on our cars.
Right.
We need clothes and everything else. Money is a major issue. There's not enough of it. Back in the day, you used to be able to work at Burger King or McDonald's.
Yeah.
And you could feed not just yourself, you could feed a family on that.
Facts.
You used to be able to get a job at the factory, the plant, work till you retired, and you were good.
Yeah.
You had benefits. You could raise a family of 4 or 5 on that, and you were solid. Nowadays, you work on one of those same places right now. You don't have enough to even keep a room over you. You have just enough to be able to go ahead and maybe buy some groceries from the corner store as you go home to your cardboard condo under the bridge.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
People are not spending time with their families. They're not pouring into their children. The children don't have that connection to their parents, that wisdom, that knowledge, that upbringing. They're spending more time on the streets with their friends who don't have. All of these things feed into that, and the stress that comes with that. There's a lot of psychosis out here, man. A lot of people are not all right, and it's not just because of biological stuff. A lot of it is because of the environment.
Yeah.
So we also have to be, and again, this is not to excuse anybody, but this is to say that this is a heavy, multi-headed beast.
Right.
And so for those of us here and elsewhere, it's important that we are looking at all these different things and putting it together So we're not so busy focusing the fire hose in this one direction. Meanwhile, we got a blaze here.
Well said.
As well.
Well said. And real quick before we
go on. I was just gonna say the when I was talking about the business, right? The reason why I say the business is the foundation of getting some of these people, ostracized, is because you remember going back to Claude Anderson. One of his tier steps was business, because your business is going to be your foundational resource to fund policies, politicians, lawmakers, everything like that. So your business is going to get people to get the laws enforced, so that way people that act out like that can be penalized and ostracized in that way. So that's what I was saying.
It's definitely a piece. It's definitely a piece.
That's the biggest thing right there.
Yeah, that's a huge part. Okay, so let's go move on real quick before we get into our crown check segment. I wanted to get into this because I think that this has a lot to do. It's more with the office setting than it is with actual business, but sometimes this can mess up your business too.
Good evening, and now it's time for our question of the day. What do you have for us, gentlemen?
So, yeah, fly one right there, right? Gentlemen, this right here is a problem for me. But what do y'all think about on-the-job dating and fraternizing with other employees? Some companies have policies against that. Some are cool with it. I think it's a terrible business practice. I think you should never do it just on a personal level. And, companies should probably ban this practice for a number of reasons as well. Real quick, what do y'all got on this before we go into the crown check?
Yeah, don't do it. I wouldn't advise it. It could be a great thing at first, but when things go sour, it ends up being a total tragedy and nightmare. You don't eat where you shit at, and that's always been the number one rule. But I wouldn't encourage it to nobody. You're better off just keeping everything platonic and professional. And no matter how good that person looks, whether it's a guy you think is the most handsome guy you ever seen at your job, or it's the most gorgeous woman at your job, it's not worth it at all. Trust me, you can go from heaven to hell just that quick. And I'll land my plane on that.
All facts. Bobby Drake.
Always keep the dope and the cash separate. keep the cash at your auntie house. Keep the dope someplace else. Don't ever put them together. It's not good business. I've always been in awe at all the stories I hear, because when this conversation comes up, I'm always surprised, and I probably shouldn't be. That's really an L I'm taking, to be honest. But I'm always surprised at how many people have acknowledged that, I've dealt with somebody at my workplace, and not even a relationship, just casual, just getting it in, just clapping buns and stuff at the job. And I'm like, so you don't have any concern about how this might affect your job? Somebody gets pissed off or whatever, they get jealous, salty, makes the workplace a crappy place. That doesn't bother you, and a lot of people just don't take it seriously like that. And I'm just always baffled by that. I've never felt the urge to do that. There's been a couple people I've seen. I'm like, you know what? They only work someplace else, whatever. But I always kept in the back of my mind, someone parts ways or whatever, or if I leave or whatever, I might shoot the shot then. But I've always been in awe of people that don't see it as a big deal to move that way, considering, again, this is your livelihood. And especially nowadays, where if you have a halfway decent job in this economy, you really can't afford to move that way. My advice to people would be, if you meet someone and the chemistry is just really amazing, it's like, this person would be the perfect person for you if it wasn't for that workplace. If that happens, you really think it's worth it to roll the dice, you're really confident about this, my advice would be to start working on an exit strategy. Right. So go ahead, start freshening up your resume or whatever. get some additional certifications or some classes or whatever the case may be. If you need to do that, see what's out in the job market. See if there's another job that's, I would say, better. I wouldn't say go to the same exact one, but see if there's a better job out there for you that you can go into. Make sure you have that person's information. You can, at that point, once it's essentially locked in, then you can start to get to know them and kind of take it seriously, because you know that, hey, I'm about to leave this place anyway, so don't matter no more. Do that. Best case scenario, you've met your husband, you've met your wife, this is the love of your life. Now you all are doing your thing, and there is no clash of interest or conflict of interest going on. Worst case scenario, doesn't work out, but hey, you've got yourself a better job. You still won. And maybe that's what you needed. Maybe you were in that place for too long. Maybe it was a long time for you to go ahead and spread your wings or whatever, go to new pastures. You've done that now, and they were the motivation and the catalyst for your evolution. We appreciate them for their service. But to just go in, you can't afford to leave. You're not in that kind of position. You need this job or whatever, and you go down this pathway. It's a bad move. They didn't stop making men. They didn't stop making women when they made him or her. Not the first one you bumped into. Might take you a minute, but I can guarantee it's not going to be the last person. Be patient.
Facts. All right. Well said, good brother. And now we get into our crown check segment.
This is the crown check segment where we honor our queens. Respect.
Shout out to our good queen sister, our good queen sister, Miss Barbara Boyd. She is 97 years old.
I got eyelashes. Okay. That's how you get big boy. I got eyelashes and I got big legs.
You've already made 30,000 on TikTok.
So that is our good sister Barbara Boyd. She was Indiana's first Black female news anchor in 1969. She is now 97 years old. Yes, she looks every bit of, 60.
There's something wrong with your caption. There's a 9 there.
Bruh, she looked like she's in her 60s, bro. Like, yo, maybe late 50s. This is crazy. She's 97 years old. She's going viral right now. And
she needs to.
Yeah, it's insane. She was the first Black female news anchor in 1969 in Indiana. She's now 97 years old. She is known also during her illustrious journalism career for, she's in the Indiana Hall of Fame for journalism as well. So I didn't even know they had an Indiana Journalism Hall of Fame, but apparently they do. You know what I'm saying? She won the four Casper Broadcasting Awards from the Community Service Council of Indianapolis, and has been named Woman of the Year by the American Cancer Society for her daring feature that she did on breast cancer. This is a phenomenal sister. I really, really appreciate everything that she's done and her doing what she do, paving the way. She was definitely a trailblazer, and one of those people who gave us representation when we needed it most. So shout out to that good sister. That is our crown check for today. Gentlemen, take us home.
Yeah, man. Today was, great, informative information. Hopefully you guys take heed to what we said. Apply it to yourself, apply it to your life. Sometimes take a good look in the mirror. Every day you should always ask yourself what you can change to do to be a little bit better than you were yesterday. That's always been my motto. And it'll go a long way, trust me. And I'll land my plane on that.
Oh, facts. Bobby Drake, take us home, homie.
Big shout outs again to that sister Barbara Boyd for completely
crazy
totally redefining how we see and view the concept of aging.
Yeah,
because I've seen some of the elders who reached their 90s and reached their hundreds, the centenarians. And I've seen some of them look really frail and brittle, bless their hearts, but they made it there, and some look pretty good for their age.
Yeah.
But she single-handedly is redefining what a centenarian or a near centenarian can look like, because she looks good. Not just that, but she looks healthy. Like she looks filled out. She's not gaunt and emaciated, whatever. She's got some muscle density and everything on her. She looks damn good.
Crazy.
I'm sure she's a blessing to her whole family. They probably can't get enough of her. Rightfully so. Big ups to her again. Really quick for our closeout, I should have done this at the beginning. I slipped my mind, but random want to give a shout out to our dearly departed brother Albert Johnson, more commonly and frequently known in the music culture as Prodigy, one half of one of the dopest groups that ever come out of New York, Mobb Deep. Passed away back in 2017. He would have been 42 years old today, the 2nd of November. Definitely want to go ahead and tip my hat to him and his family and his loved ones. If you haven't, the amazing rap label Mass Appeal dropped a new album from Mobb Deep with Nas on the executive producers. And of course, Havoc is there in full. The album sounds amazing. It's a wonderful tribute to Mobb Deep, to Prodigy, to Havoc. Go ahead, listen, enjoy. It sounds very current. It sounds with it. Go ahead and celebrate the brother's life and legacy with that.
Yeah.
Want to appreciate everyone for kicking it with us tonight. Apologies again. We did have a guest who was not unable to make it, had an emergency situation come up. But we ain't new to this. We true to this. We always have something to say. So we hope that you're able to pick up the jewels that we dropped for you this evening. All of our friends and family, if you haven't yet, there's still time. Go ahead and make sure you hit that like button. Go ahead and do that for us.
Do that.
Kind of above our heads. Hit that and select all of our notifications. We are not going to bombard and harass you. We're not going to hit you with the adware campaign. But when it's time for us to pop up, you'll know so you can be here in attendance with us live. We want to give a special shout out to all of our Facebook family, our YouTube crew, our IG Mafia, and everybody that's linking up with us. We appreciate you. We will see you all next week, same time, same place. This guy here, they call him Major Gage. This one over here, that's Anthony Malcolm. I am Bobby Drake, and together we are Manversations 2020. God bless.
Let me just make sure I add this in real quick because I forgot to. Shout out to everybody that attended the artists and authors summit yesterday. I went to that summit, and there were some amazing artists that were out there. They were selling books, they were selling prints, they were selling wood carvings. I mean, they were selling everything out there. And just, there are creatives out there that are still doing what they do. They're still representing hard. I copped this shirt right here from G Moss Designs. This is so dope. It's a shirt that goes with a graphic novel that brother has. He has a whole line of clothing that, he had there. I got this. I got my wife 2 pieces. He has a Black-owned business, and there were plenty of.
Did you support him just because he was Black?
Yeah, exactly, right. And I didn't support him just because he was Black. But if I did, so what, nigga? You understand what I'm saying? If you want to talk stupid out there, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, exactly. And there were plenty of other Black-owned businesses and creatives that were out there that were representing hard and had their products there. And I just started buying stuff. I bought my wife a couple pieces. I bought myself pieces. I bought there's another artist, A. Stanford. She makes these children's books. There's one that's called Princess Solar in My World. Beautiful book. It's a children's book, and then she has a coloring book that goes along with it. It's so dope. So check that sister out. Find her online, cop her merchandise too. And let's just keep doing what we do out here, because all we got is us. Go ahead, and real quick.
No, I was gonna say next time you do that, mingle with them, get them on. Let's get them on the podcast so we can give them a bigger platform.
Okay, absolutely. Set that up. Let's do it, man. Let's do it. We're gonna start doing a lot more of that too. Y'all gonna see. We're gonna really dress this up and really start holding some people down, like for real out here, because it's needed, bro. We got to do this. All we got is
it is
Manversations 2020. That
Manversations. Man up. Manversations. Man up. Manifestation. Man up. Manifestation.
A place where we inform, build, and inspire.
Manifestation. Man up. Manifestation. Man up. Manifestation. Man up.
A place where we inform.
Manifestation.
A place where we inform, build, and inspire.
You gotta eat what you kill. You gotta go out there, you gotta hunt for your meals.
We all have that ability to connect with people, to be that motivational person in somebody's life.
You gotta let people know there's certain lines you don't cross, and that there's gonna be consequences if you do.
Man up.
If you are an adult and you are in a relationship, that person's emotions are not your responsibility.
Man up. Manifestation. Man up. Manifestation. Man up. Manifestation.
A place where we inform, build, and inspire.
The devil, during slavery, destroyed the masculinity or manhood of the so-called Negro. No man. No man. Right now you got to be trained all over again to be a man.
When someone is obligated to do something, it is binding upon them to do it. And failure to do it causes reaction.
Man up.
Position make you rich. I don't have that type of richness. My richness is life forever.
If black people knew their glorious past, if black people knew their glorious past, if black people knew their glorious past, then they would be more inclined to respect themselves. I'm not saying I'm going to rule the world or I'm going to change the world, but I guarantee that I will spark the brain that will change the world. And that's our job, is to spark somebody else watching us.
A place where we inform, build, and inspire.
Manifestation. Man up. Manifestation. Man up. Manifestation. Man up.
A place where we inform.
Manifestation.
A place where we inform, build, and inspire.
You want to tell me about yourself? Go get your friends. I'll tell you who you are based on who your friends are.
Don't just live and die. That's an ugly existence. Make your life matter, make your life count. Live a life where people can actually mourn you for the things you left behind, not just because you were around and existed.
We need strong black nuclear family.
Yes. Yes.
That's what it is. Mother, father, son, daughter, all in the same house with a focus on the family unit as a whole.
We had Tulsa, Atlanta, New Jersey, Detroit. We had Rosewood. We had Black Wall Streets all over.
The Republicans aren't for us, but the Democrats aren't for us either. And we should have no alliance to any political party. We only have alliance to what is in our own best interest.
A place where we inform, build, and inspire.
Manifestation. Man up. Manifestation. Man up. Manifestation. Man up.
A place where we inform.
Manifestation.
A place where we inform, build, and inspire.
At the end of the day, as men in the community, we must stand together and be counted, because people look to us for guidance, leadership, and protection. And if we are not about that business, we are not on our job. Here we have grown-ass man conversations in the spirit of that purpose. Anthony Malcolm, Bobby Drake, Major Gage, we are. This is Manifestations 2020.
Manifestation. Man up. Manifestation.
A place where we inform, build, and inspire.